You're watching Inside Thunder Basketball with Darnell Mayberry. I'm Mike Sherman, sports of the Oklahoman, and we're talking all things Oklahoma City Thunder, which lately has been an incredible hot streak. The Thunder comes into tonight's game against the Phoenix Suns on a 9-game winning streak. Darnell, what's been the biggest factor during the streak?
The same thing that's really been the factor all season, that's defense. I mean, this team is really buckling down on the defensive end, holding opponents to that 90, 95, 96 point per game range. The field goal percentage for opponents is down. When they play well on the defensive end, they generally win.
You wrote that in the paper the other day and on News OK. The field goal percentage, defensive field goal percentage, is among the best in the league. That shocked me.
Yeah, I mean, 43.6% they're holding opponents to this season. And I mean, that's the top three in the league. I mean, they're tied for the first league leader in that category. So they've preached it all since last year when Ron Adams came in midseason. They made it a point to send players home last summer with that philosophy. Kevin Durant, Jeff Green, give them credit. They got together a lot this summer and said that they were going to come back and make this year different. That's exactly what they did, and it's starting to finally pay off.
Darnell, you're talking about different. What seems really different during this streak is the commanding presence of Russell Westbrook. 14 assists the other night against Minnesota, but then he's just doing it all. He's had a triple-double during the streak and nearly a quadruple-double. What do you see different in him?
Well, the game has slowed down for him. I mean, he's seeing the court a lot better. He's making the smart play. He's getting his teammates involved. When he does that, he's a phenomenal player. We saw flashes of it out of him his rookie season. Now he's doing it consistently, and that's, as we know, what separates the good players from the great ones. He's on the verge of being a great point guard in this league because he's able to do it consistently.
Darnell, tonight the Thunder plays the Phoenix Suns without Steve Nash. What impact does that have on this game?
Well, a big impact. Obviously, Steve Nash, one of the best point guards in the league. He keeps your defense off balance. I mean, with his passing and shooting ability, he makes everyone else better. Goran Dragic probably gets the start for him in place of Steve Nash, but he's not the same player. He's still a good young point guard. He can shoot it, and he's crafty, but not crafty like Steve Nash. So, the Thunder, this could be a trap game. They're finally home. They just had 2 good road wins. They can't look past the Phoenix Suns on to San Antonio just because Steve Nash is out. They got to be careful with this team.
Wednesday night in San Antonio against another Western Conference playoff contender, the San Antonio Spurs. And speaking of a team coming home, the Spurs will be very glad to be home.
Yeah, they will be, but that's also a dangerous game for San Antonio. Kobe Bryant once said when the Thunder went out there to L.A., that was their first game back from a long road trip, and Kobe said that's always one of the toughest games to play when you're a team. When you get home, you feel more comfortable, you sort of relax a little bit. So the Spurs have to guard against sort of relaxing, letting their guard down against the Thunder when they get home off that rodeo trip. But the Thunder has played well against San Antonio this season. Thabo Sefolosha, when he guards Tony Parker, sort of limited his effectiveness, and I expect the same Wednesday night.
Darnell, the Thunder is going to try to do something that seemed unfathomable. They've got 4 games left, trying to go undefeated in the month of February. Among the 4 games left, Phoenix, Spurs, Raptors, and Timberwolves. What's the toughest matchup?
I think San Antonio. It's going to be the second night of a back-to-back. You're on the road in a tough place to play in San Antonio. If they can limit Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, I think they have a good shot. Like I said, they've played well against them. But this Phoenix win, without Steve Nash, you expect them to win at home inside the Ford Center. This place is going to, I think, be really loud and lively on this 9-game winning streak. Minnesota, they played them close this year, but they found a way to beat Minnesota every time out. And then Toronto, they're a hot team right now, second hottest team in the league. But I think the Thunder's defense will prevail in that game, which could turn into a shootout.
Thanks, Darnell. That's all for this edition of Inside Thunder Basketball. Every day in the UK, and every morning in the Oklahoman.